He sings, "Fuck me, I'm all out of enemies."
Right.
But I tell you, it sounds like, "Fuck me, I'm all out of onions." That's what it sounds like to me. You know when you want to go and cook your spaghetti
Yeah.
and you look down in the tray and
Yeah. No fucking onions.
there's no fucking onions and you go, "Fuck me, I'm all out of onions."
I've never done that, but I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start doing that.
Should we record a video?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. We are live. We have spent the obligatory hour dicking around with the audio to make my voice precisely the right level in the mix. And we're here to bring you Alpha 11.
And your volume is still totally wrong in the mix, but never mind.
All right. What do you want? Louder or quieter?
No, it's all right. Just fucking leave it. Jesus.
All right. Look at this. What is this thing? that you're showing
What is
us?
this thing? Do you remember in Alpha 10 last month, we created the Steam Workshop? Well, we didn't create the Steam Workshop, but we integrated the Steam Workshop into Prison Architect, and this is one of the prisons that has recently been submitted. It doesn't look a lot like a prison, does it?
No.
But it's very, very interesting because it's. I mean, everybody lives in their own little house, right?
Yeah. It looks like some kind of hellish butlins.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Yeah. How cool is this, though? You know, I never imagined that people would use it to build stuff like this that doesn't really look anything like a prison.
Look at this. Are they the houses cells? Are they?
Yeah, each prisoner gets his own full house with a kitchen and a bathroom and a double bed and everything. Look at that.
That is absolutely brilliant. Look at that little wet room they've got. It's even got modern interior decoration.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. There's a church and everything. God, it's brilliant, isn't it?
That church is nice.
Got another one to show you. Right,
Yeah.
check this out. Check out this one. Right.
Radio silence. Look at that. Look at that.
I know. I never imagined that people would try and make completely round prisons like this. You know, I mean, Prison Architect doesn't really, obviously, a grid-based game doesn't really, map itself onto circular buildings very well. But
Well, this is. I don't know whether this is a faithful recreation of the Panopticon, but people ask us that, don't they? They say,
it is kind of Panopticon-like, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
everybody's cell faces the center, and there are guards in the middle looking out. And in theory, everybody behaves, don't they? They all behave themselves because they think they've been watched all day long.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
very
there you go. You can approximate a circle, can't you?
Yeah.
It's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So, on to some new features then.
Okay. Yep. Good. Look at this.
All right, so this particular prison, just for demonstrating one of our new features, right? You'll notice here that there's been a bit of trouble, and there's a morgue, and you can see a bunch of prisoners and guards who died.
That guy.
Sorry?
This guy looks like he's got a detached head. He's had his head.
Well, they've done their best to put him back together, obviously, but, there's only so far that medical science can go.
Yeah. I think it's very reverent as well that they redress the guards in their full cap and
In their full uniform.
tie, to leave them on the morgue slab.
So the problem is, particularly since we put riots in, right, the number of deaths that can occur in your prison can get quite silly. So for the first time ever now, and you'll see these guys doing it, all of those dead bodies will be picked up and taken away.
By the workmen.
Yeah, so guards will take guards out and workmen will take workmen out currently. It's a bit weird.
Oh, that's not. No, I quite like that actually.
Yeah, they look after their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and they take them to this waiting ambulance. Well, it's a hearse, really.
Yeah.
It's hearse isn't really quite the right word because hearse is what happens at your funeral, but it's near enough. Get the
It's
idea?
whatever goes to the coroner.
Exactly. And so all the bodies get loaded into the van and driven away. And what the? Oh my god!
Why do
Oh!
they-
Oh!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh fuck!
Even in the videos, man.
All right. Well, they've just left the dead body there in the middle of the road.
So that system's in Alpha 11.
Yeah,
Might be a couple of minor tweaks.
that's finished in Alpha 11,
that
as you can see.
Right.
All right, next major feature then. So let's say you've filled your space like this, and you're going, oh crap, I've not got any space left. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, now you can go to bureaucracy, and your finance woman, your accountant, can unlock land expansion.
Right.
It costs $1,000. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to get land expansion in one go.
Brilliant.
And once you've unlocked land expansion, you can opt to purchase any neighbouring plot of land.
Brilliant.
Right, so you see this chunk here, 100 meters by 40 meters,
Brilliant.
$20,000.
Yep,
So you click on that fella.
Brilliant.
You wait for a few seconds while it does some calculations, and there you go. You've now got all that new space to build in.
That is brilliant. So is there a maximum area that we can go to, or is it just performance limited?
No, there isn't a maximum area, but obviously the bigger you go, the more performance issues you're going to run into at this point.
Yeah.
You can go in any direction. You always buy one complete edge, right?
So that edge will be more expensive now, right?
Yeah, exactly, because it's bigger. So this is 50 meters by 120, which is $30,000.
Brilliant. So you've used some maths. Yeah.
I've used some maths. You can buy this side as well. Now, I have to admit, I have not fully tested what happens if you build on the other side of the road.
Right.
I mean, the road will still work and everything.
Nothing else will.
Well, I'm not quite sure what will... Oh, so jumping ahead a little bit, right? Prisoners' sentences now count down. And this guy, for example, has served 1 year out of 1 year, right? And once they've... Yeah, him. So you can tell it's flashing released, right? That's your clue. And once he's been released, he gets let out by the guards and can leave. And which will no doubt cause intense panic amongst the average player, because he'll go, "Why are my prisoners escaping?"
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. He's been released, so that's okay.
He's been released, and there's no one there to pick him up. In future versions, I'm going to get the family to pick him up.
Yeah. And their own clothes, right?
Yeah, and they'll change into civilian clothes. Yeah. It's only I've only sort of started that feature, but their sentences tick down, and eventually they will be let out by the guards.
Brilliant. That's very important, I think, for us to sort of be moving on what we're internally calling the end game, which is kind of how you might win at Prison Architect. So I think, even though it might look small, I think it's quite important, because what prisoners do post-release, I think, reflects on a prison. And, we've had lots of conversations about what to do.
Yes, indeed. Like whether they reoffend or not is an interesting metric of how successful your prison is in many ways.
Absolutely.
Well, I haven't done any of the support. There's no parole or anything like that yet. They just count down their sentence, and their sentence actually counts down a lot quicker than real time, because obviously some of these guys have got sort of 24 years to serve, and given it takes you 1 day to build an entire prison usually, we have to tick down time a little bit faster than usual.
Game time, isn't it? No one's going to mind about that.
Game time, exactly. It's like Valve time, only it's quicker rather than significantly slower.
Oh, game time.
All right, next feature. Some construction help. So our objects menu is getting a little bit on the large side. Right. It's quite hard sometimes to find the object that you want to build with. Yeah. So what happens now is, if you're building, say, a shower, and you zoom in on the shower, you'll notice useful objects for the shower highlight in the toolbar.
Getting some kind of context-sensitive help in there.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the shower head and the drain and the toilets are all highlighed.
If you've got system design from the 90s. Next thing, you'll have a little paperclip.
A paperclip?
It looks like you're building a canteen. Would you like me to help you?
Why don't you fuck off? Maybe we should have the turn off the highlight option for that very reason.
Yeah, people hate it. Anyway, no, that's good. That is really good. So
it's very handy, it's very handy. So if you highlight the morgue and the medical bay, for example, all the useful features get highlighted. Medical bed, morgue slab, and so on.
Just draws your attention a little bit to the things that are going to be most useful for you, probably.
Precisely. All right, so one of the features that our very own Andrew Lim has been working on is a time-lapse recording system. Right?
Now, this is very cool. I've been really excited about this.
Yeah, this is very cool. And it's been in development for quite a while. And you may remember our first ever promotional video. We did a time-lapse.
Yeah, well, I remember. I hope, yeah. I don't know how many views I've got that.
So now you can go to the options menu, and in the options menu you'll find time-lapse, and you can change some options, such as how often a frame will be captured, like every half second, and you can change it to whatever you like. You can change, this says frames per second, but it actually means the playback rate. So the frames you've captured will play back at 24 frames a second.
Right.
And you can set whether it will be fully zoomed out, which is what that means, or whether the camera, if it's zoom camera, means that the camera will start zoomed in on the beginning area and will zoom out as you build.
Right. Which is what you did, I think, in that.
Which is what I did, in the very first video. Yeah. And then once you've done all of that, from the main menu, you just say record time lapse, right? And then that's it. In the top right corner, you'll notice a little red blinking recording option, and Andrew Lim still hasn't done the tooltip. At the moment it says hello, but that will actually say useful information.
Yep.
And so every half second, that's now recording a frame into a time-lapse video.
Fantastic.
And if you exit the game or if you click on stop time lapse, it'll stop. And this is an appropriate point for me to bring out one that I made earlier. Right, here we go. And as you can see, this amazing time lapse that we're now looking at was recorded earlier using this very same system.
That's amazing. It's just brilliant.
Isn't that amazing?
It is good. It's good.
Yeah, we should probably mention at this point that there is no time lapse on our screen, and that's something for Chris to do in editing.
So that was a lie. Excuse me, I was lying there.
We lied.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so this is going to mean that people out there are going to be able to, well, we hope, post YouTube videos, right, of their prisons being constructed.
Yes, we record out to OGG video files, which is an open video format.
Yeah.
And YouTube just supports it straight away. So you can drag and drop it into YouTube, you can link it in Steam, you can do whatever you like with it. But I would have loved to have seen some of those prisons that we saw in the Steam Workshop. I would have loved to have seen a time lapse of those being built. That would have been amazing to see.
Sorry, guys, you're going to have to build them again.
Yeah, build it again from scratch.
With time lapse on.
And that's all the major features. One thing that's worth mentioning is that I spent at least half the time this alpha working on some pretty big performance improvements and bug fixes.
It was time for that, I think. You know, we've done a lot of work. We put a lot of new features out, and I think it was time to kind of just go inside and tweak everything to bring it up to the next level. Not to say perfect, but
yeah. Well, it's definitely not perfect. There's still a long way to go, but it does perform a lot better these days. And obviously, that doesn't demonstrate at all in the alpha video, but players, when they're playing it, should feel the game is running a lot smoother. So
will it run on weaker systems now, or will it perform better on higher-end systems, or a little bit of both?
Both of those things are true, and you should find that you can play in bigger, more complex prisons without it lagging out quite so badly. There were some pretty serious performance bugs, and also just general performance optimizations that I did as part of Alpha 11.
Brilliant. So that is the Alpha 11 video for Prison Architect. We recently passed 100,000 players, which we think is amazing. If you are not already part of the Alpha, then visit prison-architect.com and get involved. If you buy from us, we'll give you a Steam key, free access to the Mac, Linux, and PC versions, no DRM. We promise it's all very cool. If you're already in the Alpha, we want to see your videos and your Steamworks prisons, and generally tweet at us and let us know your feedback. Brilliant. Well done, Chris.
Yeah, well done, Mark.